Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
So here is Masters of the Universe, Fields of Eternia, Rise of the Snake Man. This is an expansion for the system. There's a few of these come in these little boxes. You can see a very striking cover there. You're going to get not a rule book, but a mission book. And what this is going to do, have a little bit of an index, not very long, give you a picture of all the components. I love that they number the cards. That's all in here. Fantastic. So if you ever mix them up, you can always put it back in if you want to. Here will be some additional rules. This kind of tells you what's going on in the game. And then this is for the 3. So you're going to have a new faction with the Snake Man, which is weird because there's also an expansion with the Horde. But nevertheless, and how you can play with 3 players if you so choose. Even though this adds in a third, there's a third rule. There are 4, but you can't play with 4 players. Here's the mission. It's going to tell you where the breakdown is. And now the rules for the Snake Men are inside this mission. It's a little weird, but being there's only one mission, you can easily find it. But these are the rules here for setting traps and mobilizing the soldiers. Now the big difference is that you can recruit these sabotage squads. You can spend 2 Eternium, which is the currency in the game, and you can put out 3 soldiers with little markers underneath them. And those are going to work as 1 unit. And you have to do 3 damage to kill them, and they can be pretty powerful. And if a hero goes into a location and they're adjacent to them, they will move in and start attacking. So that's pretty interesting. Then you have the traps. For a free action, they can place down a trap, and you would choose either paralysis or poison. And if somebody goes into those locations, they will take the token. And the paralysis will give you -1 to your body, and poison will make healing a little bit harder for you. Here's some epic beasts and the skull events that come in. And that's really all. You get the 1 mission. The mission, like the Horde one, is going to beat up on the other players, kind of give, it's centered around the Snake Men. They're supposed to be accomplishing their goals. Everybody else is kind of being smacked back. But a pretty cool little mission. I think there should have been more than 1. I would say 3 to 5 would have been what I was looking for in this. I understand missions you can always just kind of print offline, and that's sufficient, but I wish there would have been a little bit more. You will get a new player board here for the different, you can kind of see it has the snake on it, but it'll be this tracker here. Now, you're going to get a bunch of green dice. So green dice have now been added to the game. These are just like what you get in the other ones. You're going to get a new stack of cards. Combat cards, which will be what you're used to getting with the other ones. But you'll need those in order to play with this faction. You're going to get some equipment cards, which we can take a quick look at. So you're going to get some new stuff in here. Guard tech, a magic cloak, a breastplate, staff. So there's new stuff that you can kind of buy. Like you can buy a bat snake if you want to, etc. So it gives you some new things to kind of go after. And an herbal kit, of course. And then you're going to have spells that you're going to have in here that you can add, and some new stuff that just kind of gives you things to do. This will really kind of move up the variety of the game. Now, inside this portion of it right here, you're going to get these little things. This is what you put on the sabotage ones, like this purplish color. They don't fit perfectly on here. It's okay. But these will be the new stake soldiers that you get also for the faction. Now, mine I've painted up. Yours will not come painted. Let's take a look here. Here will be the tokens for the poisons and the paralysis. They're just little cardboard tokens, and they work just fine. You're also going to get a deck of cards here. These will be the Snake Man ones, so this is what you'll be getting, and you go through. And there's new like dinosaurs and stuff in here to fight with. As you go through, there'll be some events that you can do, and these will be used in the new Snake Man mission. In addition, you're going to get some new encounters. These can be kind of mixed in and play Snout Spout, Lizard Man, Chief Crush Roboto, Mosquitor, Snake Face, Strong Oar, Blade, and then some little events that can occur. So what we're going to do now is we'll take a look at the characters as we go through, and we will also take a look at the miniatures. So the first one we're going to have here is Fang Or. When purchasing vehicles, you decrease the cost by 1. That's going to be his main power that he's going to have. Now, his miniature is really cool because you have like this little dragon guy on his shoulder, and he has these really long tusks coming out, and he looks really cool. Once again, remember, mine are painted. Yours will come unpainted, but this, you can do something like this if you so choose. We're going to have Cobra Khan. I remember him as a kid because he would spit water out. He was a really cool toy. When combat initiation against Cobra Khan, you may spend 2 Eternium to cancel it. So somebody's trying to get you when you're weak, you can spend the 2 Eternium and get the heck out of Dodge. Let's take a look at Cobra Khan here. Maybe not my favorite miniature, but this is one of my favorite He-Man toys when I was a kid. My cousin had him, and he would spit that water at you. I thought he was really, really cool. We're going to have Lady Slither. She gains +2 initiative if she initiated this epic combat. So she's a very cool little thing here. Now, her miniature is really cool because she really does kind of look like a snake. You can see that with her body right here. You see that, how she comes through? And she has that cape that's kind of going through. She is a very neat and cool looking miniature, if you ask me. And then we're going to have Rattler. Now, I did like Rattler when I was a kid. So when a friend of heroes are in the same area, adjacent area to Rattler, they gain +1 body and attack. So he's really good to keep around your other guys. And he will be able to give them. And he looks really cool there with his little staff, his snake staff, and he has the tail coming through. He almost looks like a dinosaur. Very reptilian, this guy. So we'll put him down. And you got Squeeze. He was a pretty powerful one there. So the enemy here cannot flee from combat. So if you can get somebody in there, get somebody weak, you can run him in, and they cannot flee after the first round. That could be somewhat powerful. Let's see. This is Squeeze. You can see his arms open. He's got his staff out. He's got a snake around him. And he looks pretty cool. And those are his arms. Look at that. They got really long, super duper arms there. So very cool miniature. And then we have King Hiss. And you can see here. So at the start of the King Hiss turn, place your turn to in his text box to choose. He can go to snake form or human form, and your stats will kind of change based on what you prefer that round. And you can see he's got this long snake coming off of him as he's coming through with his staff. So it's a very cool little miniature. You can be kind of freaky on the board. Now, one of the other major changes is that you can have victory cards with this one. With the Hort, you could not. This one, you could play with this Passive Destiny, and all players can use this, or they can use victory points. They win a check mark off of this. That's a very cool addition to the game because it allows you to have that choice. So what do I think about the Rise of the Snake Man? This is not one of my favorite expansions. It's nice, you know. I think the more you like these characters, the more you're going to like this expansion. And I didn't have a strong feeling about these guys. There's a couple of them I remember, like Cobra Khan's one of my favorite toys in the He-Man line. But a lot of these I didn't know as well. And that's just maybe on me. And if you like that more, it does add a third faction. It does give you a way to score different victory points. And it does give you an additional mission. And quite a few characters, they're all snake related, of course, because that's the faction, right? So your mileage may vary. For me, this is one I wanted to have, but it wouldn't be one of the first ones that I would go to. Nothing wrong with it. It just didn't speak to me with the characters. Cobra Khan's a really cool one. I like him a lot. Some of these, like, where is the one here? Like, Squeeze, where he can't flee from combat, wasn't quite as useful to me. But he does have some good stats on there. Like, his body and his mind is pretty good. And his powers are pretty good on there. So your mileage may vary on what you like. I do love this game. I do like the addition of this. More and more content. I need more missions. I need more characters. And this hits it all in spades. Great job with this one. And one I can easily recommend.